and welcome to this episode of STC Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Mustang Medina. Today, we have Brother Paul Ickes from Brother Rice High School. He is the head volleyball coach and president of the Illinois High School Association. Coach, thank you for being here.
It's great being here. Thanks for having me.
Now, my first question, Coach, to break the ice is, how long have you been coaching?
I've been coaching high school sports total for 27 years. 21 of those years have been volleyball. 27
years, Coach. That's a long time. Now, I know you have a lot of special memories that you hold close to your heart, but at this very moment, is there a memory that stands out?
There's a lot of things that are coming to mind offhand, everything from the first team that I coached in 1993. It took us 10 matches before we got our first win. The 2007 class that went 39-1, last year's class that really turned it around in the second half of the season and got us to the state quarterfinals again. There's a lot of different things that come to mind.
Well, so 27 years, all them accomplishments, I would have to say that the game has evolved. And in your opinion, how has the game changed in your career?
Certainly the major league change has been the scoring system. For the first few years, we're playing with the side-out system, and you literally could have a match that went for 2.5 hours without question. Now with the speed scoring system, it still is competitive, but the matches are going a little quicker, and you have to adjust your strategy and your practice plans a little bit because the game does go faster.
Okay. Now, Coach, being the great coach that you are, you will have to push your players to the limit in practices. How has the practices changed?
Actually, not a whole lot has changed over the years, other than every once in a while when there's a rule change, you obviously have to incorporate that into your practice plan. For instance, the let serve that came in a few years ago, as well as speed scoring. So serving has always been an important part of the game, but now it's a little different in regards to now you're losing a point every time you make an error with serving.
I see. Is there any particular drill that you like, that you favor?
We have a great gym, the South Gym at Brother Rice. When the guys warm up, sometimes we have them do what's called run balconies. It's basically our own jump box system because it's an older gym with cement stairs that are about 18 inches high. It's kind of the ultimate torture chamber for players and teams that don't always pay attention. But there's a lot of things. Probably the other drill that I would really like a lot is the wash drill, where you throw 2 or 3 different balls at a team in about a 10 to 15 second time frame. That's probably one of my favorites also.
I see. Now, Coach, I'm going to ask you the question that everybody wants to know right now. How can you build upon last year's success and repeating as Catholic Blue champions?
Yeah, it's a tall order. The major change for us this year is we are a lot younger. We have 10 juniors and 2 sophomores with only 4 seniors this year. Last year we had 10 seniors. So lack of experience coming into varsity is going to be an issue for us. I am encouraged so far by what I've seen in regards to our practice and the ability that the guys have. But playing at the varsity level is a whole different story, especially for those junior players. I told them at the start of the season that we have a lot of potential if we're able to put things together. So I'm hoping we'll be able to do that and revisit Hoffman Estates in a couple of months.
I'll see. Now, Coach, you have 3 players here right now today. Tell us a little bit about them, please, if you can.
Alrighty, I will start with the senior that's here. It's senior Ryan Paul, also referred to as Tall Paul by many of the guys at Brother Rice. He's a 3-year varsity player. He's our 6'8" middle, a dominating presence both on offense as well as defense. The other 2 players that are here are juniors, junior Mitch Weiler. Mitch has played, in addition to Ryan, at a number of different USA volleyball camps, including the national camp that took place over Christmas vacation. Him, as well as Ryan, and the third player, Kevin Myron, play for Ultimate Volleyball Club. Kevin is a junior. And it'll be interesting to see where he lands. He might end up as a middle for us this year, might also end up as a right side for us.
I'll see. Coach, what do you expect from your seniors?
Leadership is the first thing that comes to mind. Setting the example for the kind of discipline and hard work ethic that we're looking from the entire team, and also the experience. In addition to Kevin and Mitch, the seniors have state experience. They've been to the state finals. And I have found when we have players that have had that experience, it makes it a little bit easier to climb that wall come the end of the season and return to the state tournament.
Now, Coach, with all the challenges, both in sports and academic-wise, how do you prepare your players for college?
Several different ways. My two assistant coaches and myself are all full-time staff members at Brother Rice. In fact, we have a number of the guys in class. And we emphasize to them over and over again that student-athlete means just that. They're students first and they're athletes second. That we are teachers first as the adults and coaches second. That this is a part of their life, and it might be a part of their life into college, playing volleyball, and maybe even going a step further. We have one of our graduates that is a professional volleyball player in Denmark. But the majority of them are going to end up not playing in college, so they're going to be preparing for their life vocation, their life work, and we try to set the groundwork for that academically at Brother Rice with what they do.
Yeah. Now, Coach, besides being a great coach in volleyball, you are also the president of the IHSBCA.
That's correct.
How did you become president?
Interesting. The Coaches Association had existed in Illinois in the 1970s, and then it disbanded. And then about 4 years ago, Sports Imports with the CenoNet system, working with the American Volleyball Coaches Association, thought that Illinois, being such a hotbed of volleyball for girls as well as boys, not having a state high school coaches association, that it was time to restart it. And I had been going to a number of the different AVCA conventions, and they had talked about this concept, and I was interested in helping out with it. And at the same time, Brother Rice was one of the only gyms that was available to host the first clinic several years ago, so that's how I initially got started into it. I was the vice president of the association for a short period of time, and when the first president had to step down, I was asked to take on the role of president, which I've been doing for the last 3 years, and have really enjoyed our work with the coaches. We just did our coaches clinic a couple weeks ago. We had some great college coaches come out. Bon Szymanski from Marquette has done a great job turning that program around and did a great job with our coaches. Kevin Hambley from University of Illinois that took his team to the championship match a year ago. We've been real lucky to have a lot of great people at the collegiate level and in the high school level assist us in building up this program.
Now, Coach, you are always a supporter of the girls' AllStar game. Why is that?
I love watching the game, no matter what level it is. We'll be hosting grade school boys volleyball at our place in a couple weeks, and I get a kick out of watching the 4th grade boys. I'll be taking my players to the Lewis Loyola game next Wednesday night at Lewis, and that's going to be some high caliber, high powered volleyball. I just love watching the game, and I love playing the game also. In fact, I've got a game at the Mount Greenwood Park League in a couple of hours after I finish up here before I head back to Rice for practice later on tonight. So I just love watching the game, love playing the game, love coaching the game.
Now, Coach, I got one last question for you. How many wins in program history have you recorded?
We are at the 489 win plateau right now since we started in 1993, and I'm hopeful and confident that we'll be able to reach the 500 mark at some point. And it's interesting, Wheaton-Warrenville South with Coach Bill Schreier, they won the state championship last year. He's right behind us at 486 wins. So there are 2 programs that are going to be approaching the 500 win plateau for the first time this season. And it'll be interesting to see who ends up there first. Hopefully it will be me, and I can kid Bill around with that a little bit. But nonetheless, just being able to have that opportunity is going to be a great thing to see as the season unfolds.
Well, I have no doubt that you will record your 500 victory. Thank you, Coach, for your time. And next, we have one of your players. We have one of your players coming up next on the STC Coach's Corner. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us.
It's Herb Lawrence, 670 The Score, producer here. I love my job. It's excellent. I got my start at the Illinois Center for Broadcasting in Lombard. Graduated in October of 2000, and I couldn't have been happier. The decision was so excellent. They're flexible on money, on tuition. They're flexible on classes that you have. You have 3 classes per week. We do day or night classes. I mean, it's the best decision I've ever made. If you're thinking about it, do it now. Enroll now at ICB. BeOnAir.com/Chicago Sports is where you need to go. BeOnAir.com/Chicago Sports. Once again, Herb Lawrence from 670 The Score, signing off.
Welcome back to STC Coach's Corner. We have with us now the one and only Ryan Tall Paul. How's it going, Ryan?
Good, thanks for having me.
Now, I understand you're a 6'8", 215 pounds.
That is correct.
You are a senior at Brother Rice.
Proud of it.
What position you play?
I play middle blocker and attacker.
Let me ask you a question, Tall Paul. What is your favorite thing about Coach Ickes?
Brother Ickes. I personally love about Brother Ickes is his dedication to the team, because 2 years ago and last year he had a few minor health problems, including some of his gallbladder. He was told by the doctors to stay home for at least a couple weeks, and I think 3 days after the operation he showed up to a game to support us. Not on the bench, wasn't allowed on the bench, but he stayed in the crowd. It was impressive. I really liked that about Brother Ickes.
Now, Tall Paul, what is your favorite type of block?
Favorite type of block? I have to say, there's a moment in the game when you're really going, and then in midair you can feel it. Your hands are like up to your armpits over the net, and you just know the ball's going straight down. And when that guy swings as hard as he can and it hits the floor, it's great. It's incredible.
So there's a lot of emotion in that play.
Oh yeah, that's always at the pins with the 2 guys you'll see after me.
Now, by being a senior, correct? You have a lot of memorable blocks. At this very moment, do you have a most memorable block that you would like to share for us?
I definitely do. And Brother Rice, last year at the state tournament, we were playing Glenbrook North, and they had a pair of the Bedford twins. I forget their first names, I think Kyle and something. But one of them was an amazing outside, I'll give him that. But he was ripping point after point at us, and I think halfway through the second game, me and I think it was Mitch went up to block and roofed him straight to the floor. It was one of the greatest feelings. We had our fans, everyone's yelling and screaming. It was incredible.
Oh, it must have been a great moment then.
It was.
Now, you said you're proud of being from Brother Rice. What is your favorite thing about Brother Rice?
Most people probably won't believe it, but the all-boys atmosphere is great. It's just everyone, it's all your friends every day. You don't have to worry about looking great. You can be a scrub. You can do whatever you want. And it's a lot of fun just having a room full of boys. Now,
being blessed with great physiques, why did you choose Brother Rice?
Initially, it was for academics. I wasn't great at volleyball or basketball, most people would think. And again, it's 2 miles from my house, right down the bus system. So it was an easy choice. It wasn't hard.
When did you start playing volleyball?
I played through grade school, 6th or 8th grade. I played on the team, wasn't standout, nothing like that. Freshman year was fun on the B team, and then sophomore year I started playing club, and then that year I made varsity, which was a lot of fun. So since then it's getting pretty serious with all the camps, but like I mentioned earlier, stuff like that.
Now I can imagine that you're being heavily recruited by a lot of colleges. Do you have any college plans?
As for now, I think my plan was to stay Midwest sort of, so I'm looking at places like Carthage, Dominican University, maybe a couple bigger ones as they come along, but still moving along in that process.
Now, as a senior, there's a lot of people that consider you a leader. My question to you is, how are you the leader on the team?
Well, this is a great experience question because the last 2 years I've been either the youngest or the second youngest on the team, and this year I'm the oldest. I'm just the one senior blocker, one senior middle blocker, and then we have 3 kids working below me. And again, I have to pass that experience on, show them like the little tweaks that work just a little bit better in games, stuff like that. And along with our coaches, that's what I like to do.
Now, a lot of great players have rituals. LeBron James has like a little powder thing that he does. Do you have any ritual or any superstitions that you do?
We do. We have a team ritual that I love. It's after we get the stretches in, the warm-ups, the captains shake hands, decide who serves first. We get in a little circle in the center of the court, do a little bit of a roar, I would say, and then we pick one kid before the game to dance. And when he dances, the crowd loves it. It's hilarious.
Man, I can only imagine. Now, being senior now, junior last year, sophomore, freshman, what is your career highlight?
Career highlight? I would say the year I made varsity, I was kind of surprised. Like I was big, I was kind of goofy looking, but I enjoyed the sport and it was a lot of fun. But making that team and having the 2 seniors I know now who play club at Purdue and like having that connection, like we still talk all the time, going to visit them, watch them play volleyball, and like the introduction into USA Volleyball and all those programs that I've participated in are just incredible.
Now, Tall Paul, I got my last question, but my last question is actually the hardest question. So you got to promise not to beat me up if you get mad.
Okay.
How can you build on last year's success?
That's going to be tough. As my coach, Brother Ickes, mentioned earlier, it's going to be a difficult one coming from state quarterfinals. But again, with all the fresh blood we've had on this team, we've got a whole new lineup of setters and outsides, and Mitch is coming back again. I think we can do it. We need to work on setting, and blocking is big. Last year, our blocking was not as great as some of the other teams we've seen in state, and if we could pick that up, I'm pretty sure we can take first place.
Now, Tall Paul, I have no doubt in my mind that great things are in store for you. Thank you for sharing your stories, and thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate it.